World War II proved to be a turning point for colonialism in the Gold Coast. African soldiers returned from the battlefield to face unemployment and economic hardship at home. In 1947, African leaders formed a political party called the United Gold Coast Congress, also called the UGCC, to call for self-government. The UGCC was a moderate nationalist group made up of traditional leaders, wealthy businessmen, and professionals. It advocated for gradual change through political reform. Economic challenges sparked boycotts and riots in a number of towns in early 1948 because of this. In 1949, a political leader named Kwame Nkrumah split from the UGCC to form the Convention People's Party, also known as the CPP, which called for immediate self-government. After a number of strikes that turned violent, initiated by Nkrumah, he was arrested by the colonial authorities. However, the following year he was elected to the Legislative Council and was let out of jail. Over the next 5 years, political reform gradually led to a new government in which power was held by elected Africans. At the same time, political opposition to the CPP mounted. Other African political parties opposed a strong centralized government being created and controlled by Nkrumah. In 1956, the British called for another election to ensure that the CPP still had a majority of support. With 57% of the vote, the CPP won the election, and on March 6, 1957, the Gold Coast became the independent state of Ghana, with Kwame Nkrumah as its first prime minister.
Ghana gained independence on March 6, 1957. After Ghana gained independence, Kwame Nkrumah became the first president. Nkrumah didn't last long, as he was cast out of office in a military coup after a short 9 years. A new militaristic organization called the NLC, the National Liberation Council, took over. A new government was established by Dr. Kofi Bousia in 1969, and under him the economy briefly flourished, but quickly worsened in 1971. In 1972, another military coup took place, and the NRP was in charge. Under them, the people were incredibly dissatisfied as corruption ran rampant. In 1975, the economy was very close to collapse, and a new organization took power, the Supreme Military Council. The Supreme Military Council is a very brutal organization, and in 1978, the Supreme Military Council too came to power. They promise a better government, but nothing comes of their promises. Jerry Rawlings attempted a military coup in 1979, but he was arrested. He was then bailed out and carried out a second successful coup in 1979. Under him, he makes a promise of a civilian government and arrests and tries old members of the SMC. In 1980, a new leader took over for Rawlings, but proved to be too weak. In 1981, Rawlings staged another coup and took power once again. The economy sees a boost under Rawlings, and people were happier. Then, in 1992, Ghana switched to become a democracy and has become a somewhat stable nation since. Rawlings became the first elected president in 1992, and Ghana entered into the Guinea Fowl War in 1994 as a result of ethnic conflicts. Rawlings was re-elected in 1996 and met with President Bill Clinton in 1998. In 2000, Rawlings' long rule came to an end, and a new president, John Mills, was elected. In 2009, Ghana officially started producing oil and secured a $600 million loan from the International Money Fund. In 2012, Mills died and a new president, John Mahama, was elected. In 2012, hundreds of Chinese workers immigrated to Ghana to work in illegal gold mines as the price of gold was rising. This caused many arrests and a few deaths. Today, a new president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has been elected, and Ghana has become a stable, middle-class economy nation since.
By the early 19th century, Britain had become the dominant trading power in the region. In 1850, the British formalized their control of the coastal region, which it called the Gold Coast, by making it a colonial protectorate. The British wanted to protect their merchants from the Asante, a powerful African state that controlled the land to the north and had dominated trade in the region for centuries. The British appointed a British governor to rule the colony, but largely depended on indirect rule, that is, governing, though, through African traditional leaders who took new roles as colonial administrators. In 1874, the British made the Gold Coast an official colony. Colonial officials established a legislative council, including appointed African representatives starting in 1889 and elected African representatives beginning in 1925. But this body could only advise the governor.
While in power, they implemented new techniques and procedures to increase trade and maintain control. The land had farmers who grew cocoa, which eventually became the colony's top exports. The growth in trade led to an increase in the standard living for many Africans,